This weekend, it is the final home stretch for contestants in the NPP Congress to elect parliamentary candidates in 104 constituencies across the country. Now, these are potential safe seats for the party. Therefore, whoever is elected stands a good chance of joining the 9th Parliament in 2025. And this makes the stakes so high, with money and other influences high on the agenda. The promises range from plots of land to television set, money and other interests. So how prepared are the aspirants ahead of Saturday? We'll hear from some of them shortly. But right now, though Nana Boakye Yiadom put a spotlight on constituencies where incumbent MPs are expected to face off the opposition in 2024.
In the Ashanti region, Bantama, Ishiayaso, and Tafo Pankrono are some key constituencies where incumbent MPs are expected to face tough competition in the NPP Parliamentary Primaries. The Bantama constituency has witnessed intensive internal contests where incumbent MPs lose after their first term in Parliament. Incumbent Francis Asensu-Boakye, who has been in Parliament for one term, is however optimistic of victory.
The fiercest competition, I believe, was between myself and Honorable Kokofu. That was the fiercest as far as I'm concerned. This one for me is it's a no match. When you go to the constituency, those who are voting, they see a big difference. Yes. Like a difference between a VIP bus and Pragya. That is the difference. It's a no match. I don't see this as a competition at all. Because it will take a nation record to choose my opponent over me, given the unprecedented levels of development I've brought in Bantama against an opponent who has no record of active service to the party and to the competition. It will never happen in Bantama.
Raphael Ijapon is the unwavering opponent of Francis Asensu-Boakye, eyeing to unseat him from Parliament.
He's an MP who can't even socialize with people. He's perceived to be arrogant, but now I agree with them because he talks as if he's, the chief of the world, calling himself VIP, and then me Aboboya, and then I'm visionless. Hey, excuse me.
Confident of his victory, Raphael shared his vision for the constituency.
Whatever I'm saying is genuine. I will not come to you, talk to you, and then just for the sake of asking you for your vote. I have a genuine heart for Bantama constituency, and I've been doing this over time. That's why you made mention of the fact that I have gained popularity over a short period. No, I have been in this constituency, God knows when, the time I was born. And they know me, I interact with them. Anytime I'm out of Accra and I'm in Kumasi, I'm with Bantama people. They know what I've done for people who are seeking to get school fees to pay their tuition, medical fees, medical money for medicine and all that. A lot of them. Within the party, we've done series of legal works for the party. So the records are there for everybody to interact.
Political scientist Dr. Amache Boateng says the Bantama constituency has become a hotspot for years. He believes the incumbent MP can possibly retain his seat.
It's not necessarily a case of a support for a one-term member of parliament in Bantama, no. But the place has become like Congo DR, a battleground because of the size of the constituency. Asensu-Boakye has definitely done what he has to do. One would have expected that maybe Ochaman Boakye might have come back if he were to be with us and possibly offer him a challenge. That would have been something of a challenge.
At the Tafo Pankrono constituency, incumbent MP Vincent Ekowasifua will battle it out with Sewa Donko after the two locked horns in the 2020
primaries. The shoes that I met was a very big shoe. That is the shoe of Dr. Anthony Akoto said. The question, or the big question always was that, how are we going to get someone to be able to fill in that shoes? And I have no doubt in my mind that within 3 years, I have been able to achieve a lot for the people of Old Tafo constituency today.
But Sewa Donko believes she's the best for the job.
Tafo Pankrono Development Fund Foundation yede ekwako peska edim punto abakroimu yesuku sem Yen hospital ya resem se impuntuo ebekɔ so wa ha eno na ye hwɛ na ya ba beka.
After a failed court injunction, the Inshiaso constituency will be part of Saturday's primaries. Incumbent MP Dr. Stephen Amwa will face a former MP and DCE for Asokore Mampong, Kennedy Kankam. Dr. Amwa is confident of winning because he claims his opponent contributed less to the party's progress after losing the primary in 2020.
For the past 3 years, nobody has supported MPP in Inshiaso, to the best of my knowledge. Any local activity I pay for. No one. When I lost election, I supported them. I supported my predecessor. Campaign, everything. I was paying money, funerals, even the constituencies activity I paid for. But 3 years, nobody, in fact, my predecessor lives in the same area with me. He was very fortunate to have gotten MCE's position, which is just here, Swansea and Share, so they are the same. Recently, we just divided them. Not even a funeral activity he supported them. I've been paying everything, the constituency they know.
Meanwhile, Kennedy Kankam has begun his intensive campaign dubbed Sankofa. Dr. Amache Boateng cautioned the delegates against voting for candidates who may not help transform their constituencies.
In democracies, the core issue that democracies simply bring about, selecting the right caliber of people to represent the citizens in parliament in various positions of responsibility. If in doing that, you take money and on the basis of that, vote for somebody, on the basis of that, select somebody. That is it.
For Joy News, Nana Boachita Kwayadom, Kumasi.
So the action is this weekend, and trust your election headquarters, Joy 99.7 FM Joy News, and of course my joyonline.com and all our affiliates to bring you up to the minutes, whatever draws will have it for you on your radio, on your TV, online, and of course everywhere you find yourself listening or watching us. So how are the candidates funding their campaigns? A very key question that we need to ask. And how are they, resourcing themselves ahead of Saturday as delegates put them under pressure to offer cash and other inducements before they vote for them? Let's connect with some of them and discuss their preparation plans and how they are managing the finances, which is key. My guest will be speaking to Katie Hammond, who is an incumbent member of parliament for Adanse Asokore in the Ashanti region. We'll also be speaking to Habib Idris, a member of parliament for Tolom, and then we'll also hear from anti-corruption crusader Vitus Azim. Dr. Amache Boateng is a senior lecturer at the Political Science Department, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Also, Nana Akumin Jr. from Tia Kwasad constituency, hoping that the delegates will smile so that he will represent them in Parliament in 2025. So let's go on the phone, on Zoom, and bring them in. Do we have Mr. Katie Hammond there? Right, so Honorable Habib Idris, you're welcome to the pulse here on Joy News.
Thank you.
I guess it must have been a very difficult road. Saturday is just around the corner. How prepared are you to seal it?
In my case, I am lucky. I've done my unopposed, and then I've done my acclamation already. I did that on Sunday. So I will not be part of the Saturday's one because I went unopposed and my acclamation was done on Sunday.
But I mean, this obviously, you've been on this road before. I mean, speak to us. How difficult it is to now become a member of parliament?
Yes, it's not an easy task, especially considering the time, because we have about less than 72 hours now to the election. I remember the time I was contesting the sitting MP. All this time I was putting my strategy in place. I was counting my numbers, counting those that I think that they will vote for me, and those that I think that they will not vote for me, and those that are in the middle. Normally people call them yellow in a research, whether they can swing to the other part of the aisle, whether they vote for you or vote against you. And, the numbers will keep changing. Those that you think are red might even turn into green from today to Saturday. Those that you think are green might also fall into yellow. So you always have to make sure that you are very consistent. You make sure that you are always in touch with the people. You make sure that, you don't leave any stone unturned, because parliamentary election is just a day one. And that day, if you make a mistake, that's it. You are out. If you are a sitting member of our parliament, it means that your chances of returning is off. If you are just also coming in, it is about your political survival. So at this juncture, normally, I remember our own happened in 2020. It was June, just 5 months to the election. 20th June, I think we did our own last election. It wasn't easy. It was a very difficult one. And everybody will come out. There will be a lot of theories against you, theories why you can't win. There will be a lot of theories why you have to win, or you are the best candidate. You just need to stay focused, sell your message, get in touch with the delegates, those who normally who will be voting, and make sure that on that day, that in this case that will be Saturday, you make sure that you police for them to cast their vote for you.
The financial implication of this, and it's something that you cannot take it off the equation. More importantly, when you are facing off with other people, and the thing is that the fear of the unknown, so you prepare ahead of it. Now, we've been speaking to some of them. An aspirant told my colleague Evans Mensah last night that he's run out of cash, yet he's going into a contest on Saturday. The financing of this campaign, and then to get delegates to vote for you, it is your cocoa season. How do you deal with the financial imperative, the challenge that has become the driving force within which one can ascend the throne, of parliament?
I think this one is a very difficult one, especially when it comes to money and financing involving in parliamentary primaries or parliamentary election. Yes, it is very financially demanding, and especially how things are now unfolding in Ghana, which is a bit worrying, that many people think that you have to pay your way throughout. But I strongly believe that even if you have the money, it is not just the case that you just have to come and pay or buy things just like you have entered into a shop to buy things. You need to build a relationship. You need to be able to sell your message out. And at the end of the day, then you try to be able to motivate them. And that motivation, it differs. Yes, there's no denying the fact that of recent times there have been a lot of money influencing certain part of our election. But it is generally not about money. Many a time money play a role. Some people have had money, they spend money more than their opponents, but at the end of the day, their opponents will win because it's a relationship. It is how you comport yourself. It is how you build your relationship with the people. You build relationship with overtime. You build relationship to the fact that and to that day that the people will now be able to endorse you. But if they strongly also believe that the delegates, even with your money, if they vote for you, you can still not deliver the seat, they will definitely not vote for you. But definitely, Saturday is a day that we are going to watch keenly. But I do know a New Patriotic Party, NPP, as we know us, will be able to come out to make the whole thing very peacefully. Yes, people will say they have run out of cash, because even to fuel your vehicles to move to various places of your constituency, it is not an easy thing. Because if you look at, for example, you come to a constituency like my constituency that you need to be able to go around. You need to fuel. You need to get motorbikes for people to be able to help you. You need to get phone units to even get them. And even on that day, you need to cook for the people.
And
as
provide them TNT as well.
Sorry?
And then provide them TNT as well. And sometimes something to really motivate them to go out and vote for you.
I'm talking about the fact that you need to transport them there because some of them live very far away, and candidates will be tempted, even though the party will provide that, but they will want to also move their candidate, their delegates to the center, so that it will show that it was candidate A or candidate B that transported us to the venue. They believe that it is another way of influencing the vote. You definitely need to cook for them. You need to give them water, and definitely the TNT. That's what I said. Transporting them there. It could be that you are giving them the money to get their own car to come, or otherwise you are providing them a car to come, and the food too can be otherwise. You're giving them money to buy the food or otherwise. But it is definitely financial demanding, considering the process that you have to go through. And even if you look at the time that you are going to file, when you are contesting sitting MPs, in this case NPP, if you are about 40 years, you have to pay nothing less than 73,000 Ghana cedi, because the form was somewhere 3,000 Ghana cedi. You pay 30,000. If you are not the sitting MP, you pay 30,000 for the filing fee, and you pay another 40,000 Ghana cedi for development fee.
All right.
In the case of sitting MPs, they don't pay. That is already a lot of money. 73,000 Ghana cedi is already a lot of money. And after that, you need to go and get the form filled. You go in, people do banners, posters, T-shirts, and going through the whole campaign process of buying fuel to go around and other.
It's a difficult exercise, I must admit. And before I let you go, so that I can also bring in Nana Akomia Jr., Fantia South constituency, he is contesting, and of course, Dr. Amache Boateng, political scientist with the KNUST. Habib, you are in leadership in Parliament, and here's the case that you are going into the 2024 election, and with the hope to, lead the majority in Parliament, and yet you have almost 20 of very experienced members of Parliament who are not coming back in the 9th Parliament. To what effect, or to what extent, would that have an effect on the MPP role in terms of its numbers and maturity and experience? To what effect would that have some impacts on the governance and prosecuting government business on the floor?
I think by far it is going to hurt Parliament in a way, because you have fine brains, high quality personnel who have opted out. I think in our side it is about 18 people. We have Majority Leader, who is one of the longest serving members of Parliament now. That is Osei Mensah Bonsu, who will not be coming back again. We have Joe Gate, who MP for Asikado, who has been a deputy speaker, a very outstanding, good lawyer by all standards, and a lot of other people who might not be coming back. But I am very positive that at the end of the day, definitely we'll be losing people with institutional memory. But the caliber of people also opting to represent or replace them in their various constituencies will also be people with more substance. Because if you look at this Parliament, you'll be able to see that those who came first-time MPs, definitely this Parliament have been a very difficult one. The Parliament have been a Parliament of many records, rejecting budget, rejecting ministers, voting on budget, voting on other key revenue bills in this. And we were able to pass it through. Definitely we will miss a lot of people with institutional memory. And the NDC, when they were also going for their primaries, they also have fine gentlemen who also have institutional memory that they didn't contest anymore. We have people like Aveji, who have been, finance committee chair. He was a deputy minority leader, and now he's now the chair of the public accounts committee, who is not coming back. So obviously, this is going to hurt the institution Parliament. But I am very positive that the younger generation who are also coming, they are, of quality, and they will be able to learn and pick up very well. Even myself, for the first time, as a first-time MP, I was made a deputy whip. People doubted, people think it was going to be. But when you are able to learn and you are determined and you are able to talk to the seniors who are there, you will be able to catch up and be able to contribute your quota to the development of the institution Parliament.
All right, thank you very much. Habib is the Member of Parliament for Tolom, a deputy whip on the majority side in Parliament. So those who are on the ground and those who have put themselves out for election, we have a few days to go. Is the blood pressure up already? Nana Akomia Jr. Is joining us from Fantia South constituency. Nana, you're welcome to the pause here on Joy News. All right, let me go also via Zoom and speak to Dr. Kwesi Amache Boateng. He is at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology Political Science Department. He's also a political analyst, a very experienced one. Dr. Amachi, you're welcome to the Policy on Joy News.
Thank you.
And it's actually good to see you. It's been a while since we spoke.
It's a pleasure.
Right. So Saturday, is it going to be a case of who will be able to pay more, or they are going to look at who is more competent and who is more suitable for the job?
Let me say thank you once again, and also to say good evening to your viewers. Actually, I mean, it's going to be a mixture of all these issues you've outlined. I think our brother Habib, addressed the issue quite well. He emphasized the need for, the social and human dimensions not to be taken for granted. So I think the bottom line is that money alone per se will not necessarily, take one out there. Your human relationship is going also to come to play. But then that said and done, at the end of the day, the weight in the in your envelope is definitely, also something that you can't take for granted. You must be ready to dip your hands deep into your pocket, to get things going. But then, like, he said, we can't dispense with the social and human aspects of these issues.
Right. Dr. Amachi, just give me 1 second. Let me cross over to Nana Akomia, who is reaching us from Fantiakwa. Nana Akomia, you're welcome to the pause.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
And how is the campaign going? I just want to believe that your BP is at a level where it's supposed to be.
your guess is as good as mine. Honestly, it's been a bit stressful because we've been it for almost about 2 months consistently on the ground. And as I speak to you, we are doing our last minute touches across the various electoral areas. And so I can't say that, yes, you are right. The BP, it keeps beeping up, it keeps going up, but we are so hopeful that at the end of the day, the delegates will find favor with us and they will give us a nod to lead the people of Fantiakwa South.
What makes you think that you will be the obvious choice? Is it your message, or is it the fact that you'll be able to meet their demands?
Okay, so it's a couple of things. I have been a constituency executive for the past 4 years. Before then, I was a polling station executive. I have lived in the constituency. I have my own residence. I have a business there in the constituency. I have served the constituency in various capacities, and I'm sure that looking at the length of sacrifice that I've made into this constituency, the people, are looking up to me to take up the nod. Beyond that, I also have a very compelling message, which I've tried to bring it down to the people. And I must be frank with you, amongst all the aspirants that I'm running this race with, I am the only candidate with a clear-cut message, and I'm very hopeful that my message has gone down with them. It will resonate with them, and on Saturday, the people will give me the mandate to lead them.
Do you have access to the delegates as we speak? Because during this time, all manner of issues going around, including the campaign, are sometimes people that you are competing with.
At this point, I have full access to delegates. I don't know what lies ahead of us in the coming days. But judging from previous elections that I've observed in the constituency, there hasn't been anything as such. So I want to assume that there's not going to be anything of the sort. But if it happens, we would have a strategy to still get to the delegates and make sure that at least they will hear us out and they will give us a nod.
All right, Nana, give me a second. I come back. Let me bring in the Minister for Trade and Industry, Member of Parliament for Adansi Asokwa, a long-serving Member of Parliament, very experienced. He served on various committees in Parliament. Whilst I was a parliamentary correspondent, I had a lot of interaction with him. Katie Hammond joins me on the line. Mr. Hammond, welcome to the Policy on Joy News. And how is the campaign going?
Well, I just started. Literally, I was at a meeting with some of my delegates when this call came through. I had to excuse myself.
In past days, you try to, get a party to look into the suitability of one of the contestants, aspirants ahead of Saturday. Are you still convinced that he's unfit?
I think you have been polite. You meant I wanted them disqualified.
Exactly.
I think I've been diplomatic and also polite. Yes. Of course, yes. There are rules and regulations that govern these procedures in our party. I wasn't comfortable that all the three who have appeared to contest me were properly qualified to contest. I made a point. At the end of the day, I'm not the arbiter. So that matter is settled. All of them are contesting me. We will resolve these matters ultimately within the structures of the party.
If I'm not mistaken, in the last election that brought you into the 8th Parliament, you won the primaries by 58 votes.
I don't remember the votes. Somebody contested me the last time. I beat him. That's what I recall.
So the confidence is still high that you represent the constituency come what may.
Who is confident?
I'm asking you, Mr. Hammond.
My confidence?
Yes.
I'm never confident about these matters. I do these matters as a matter of course. No question of confidence. I'm not confident. I am not downtrodden. I'm not. I'm indifferent. I mean, I'm going to this election. I'm talking to my delegates. I expect them to show their confidence in me to let me represent them. Ultimately, the delegates are the arbiters. Question of my confidence is neither here nor there.
And out of this, we've come so far in our parliamentary democracy, but there's the issue of financial inducement at this stage. How do we deal with it?
It hasn't cropped up in my constituency. The last time I contested them, they were quite happy to vote for me because for the years that I've been around, they know the development in their various communities. They look at their communities, and since the respective delegates are the representatives of their various communities, they look at what's happened and they reflect their votes accordingly.
And you are not concerned maybe your opponents may be paying money to get them to vote for them?
My who?
I said, you are not concerned that, for example, your opponents may be inducing them with money for them to vote for them?
They are not brought up like that. They don't have that culture. They don't have that attitude. I think they will be repulsed. They would be extremely unhappy if anybody attempted to deceive them, to bribe them with some money. That's not how they vote in this constituency.
So what are you also giving them in exchange for their votes?
Say it again.
What are you also giving them in exchange for their votes?
What am I also giving them?
In exchange for their votes.
You tend to concentrate on your questions. You hardly listen to the answers. If you did, you would have realized that I answered that question.
I asked because it could be your message. It could be something else. That's why I asked the question.
No, I have answered that question. I don't intend, my friend. If you aren't going to ask questions and going to repeat yourself, good afternoon. I don't have all the time for you, you know.
Well, Mr. Hammond, wish you the very best ahead of Saturday. Right, so Dr. Matthew Watson, if you are still with me, so these are things that we can't wish away. It has come to be institutionalized, the monetization of our electoral process. And again, people have spoken about it and the need for us to move away from it so that we can elect people who are worthy of the call. I mean, you've done this, you've done research, you have presented papers on this. What is the best possible way out of this?
Just like you said, it is really a challenge. Generally, democracies do suffer from the influence of money. In some jurisdictions, it manifests in different forms, where, this group of people I choose to call political entrepreneurs, they try to get a stake in the state's economy, and so they support political parties in their campaigns, and there are instances where they try to get key leaders, key individuals in major parties to also, in a way, become, if you like, an affiliate of them by sponsoring them. But then the Ghanaian one is an interesting thing. It's gone down to the grassroots, the electorates, where the election takes place, they elect everybody to go into government to manage the affairs of the state. It is a challenge. It is a challenge. How do we address that? I think we need something structural because we can't talk. It won't work simply by talking about it. It won't work. We need something structural, something that will make it very difficult for an individual who relies solely on money to be able to go through. And one thing that comes to mind is, I think, to expand, the base, the people that vote. So I think the delegate system will have to be scrapped if indeed the political parties mean business. And then they will have to get a better way of simply capturing their members and getting them to also demonstrate that they are core members of the party and let every member vote. So if you expand that base, then I think that will make it very difficult for individuals who have not engaged the constituencies properly to be able to rely on money alone to get through. I think that is what we want to put in place, something like that.
All right. Final question to you, Nana Akomia, so that I can let you go because you are involved in your campaign for this Saturday. Is everything smooth for you? Is everything going according to plan? All right, so we don't have him yet. Let me go back to Dr. Amache. Dr. Amache, the NPP is going into this weekend election with some 20 very experienced members of parliament who say that they are no longer coming back. They will no longer be coming back. This included the majority leader, Oseche Mensah-Bonsu, the second deputy speaker, and yesterday we heard Obi Amwa, who is currently the party's director of research. And they are not coming back. Will that have effects on how the party positions itself for the 2024 election? On the other side, will this galvanize the base of the party so that there will be some enthusiasm to encourage their members to come out and vote? How do you look at the two issues?
On the issue of voting, I like to believe that over the years, research has demonstrated that the economy plays a foremost role. The economy is really huge in getting people to go to vote for our political leaders. So I expect that to be the number one factor. Other factors might come in. With several of those gurus going out, it could play out, in either ways. In some constituencies, some people might be disappointed to see that these people, especially if those people have been endearing themselves to them, serving the needs of the constituency in a remarkable fashion, those people are exiting. There are those who might become disappointed and, may even decide to stay away. But then you could also have a situation where, the new individuals who have shown up have all been seen as hardworking people who are really, individuals who have demonstrated commitment to, the needs of the constituents. Then definitely people will be very energetic. They look, let's go out and vote for this man and get him, into parliament. So I think it would play out, differently on the basis of the situation on the ground.
There is this fear that the 2024 election may run into a runoff. Therefore, focus more should be on the parliamentary, because then the outcome of the parliamentary election may help push a candidate to, form the next government in the event there's a runoff. So how crucial is it for the kind of the caliber of people that they parade, especially for both parties?
Well, you want to believe that, these individuals that the parties present did not just come up. They've been with the parties for a while, so you expect that they have gone through some sort of training, formal or informal, some sort of learning, might have taken place. And so, with the parliament issue, obviously the experience, comes with time. So once we're going to have so many new individuals coming up in the case of the NPP, obviously they'll struggle in parliament initially. And then with time they will learn. But then the issue of a runoff is something that I don't anticipate. I don't anticipate that we're going to have.
Why do you say so? Why do you say so?
Well, if indeed Mr. Alan Chamatin goes all the way to contest in the elections, he's going to take a large chunk of the NPP's votes away. Fortunately or unfortunately, his base is in Ashanti region. I've always said that the party's sort of image in Ashanti region is dented. It is not the same NPP in Ashanti region that we have known all the time. The party has been trying hard for some time now to do some sort of damage control. People are not satisfied with what some people call the region's share of the national cake. People are not satisfied that the party has not delivered
to
to expectation.
To me, Manshia Empires to come to muddy the waters even more.
It has the potential to muddy the waters. It can be managed if indeed they want to, manage it. It can be managed. The party should take that thing seriously. But then it has the potential to muddy the waters, The wood to me factor obviously is going to play negative here in the region. And people are really zeroing in and saying a lot of things. He came to, chair the party in the region for his own good. And many people know this. Many people have been talking about that. Some people even believe that he is to blame, for the incidents of galamsey in many parts of Ashanti region and the associated damages that the environment has received. If all these things are playing out now, the party would need to really come out and put in place some damage control measures.
Right.